Here we are.
I still can't believe my dad let us even touch his new car.
Oh, yeah?
I think it came with the car. Hey. Wait!
The Trunk Monkey Chaperone version. An innovative idea you'll only find at Suburban Auto Group.
On my way into work, I spilled hot coffee on my lap, and I lost control of my car.
Shock advised. Stand clear.
No. For the most part, I'm glad that I bought a car with the Trunk Monkey.
The Trunk Monkey. A life-saving idea you'll only find at Suburban Auto Group.
Yeah, happened about a month ago. I was driving my new truck home from the bingo and it just died. Now, next thing I know, I seen this bright light up in the sky. Then aliens was everywhere. Now, I don't do probes, so I'm glad I bought a truck with a Trunk Monkey.
The Trunk Monkey. An out-of-this-world idea you'll only find at Suburban Auto Group.
Where'd you find this place?
Hey! You know it costs a lot to park here.
I'm not gonna pay you any money.
Well, then you're gonna pay another way.
Oh, yeah?
The Trunk Monkey Samurai Edition.
That's my Trunk Monkey.
An automotive accessory you will only find at Suburban Auto Group.
You hear me? Mrs. Edwards!
What do you want?
Mrs. Edwards, I know I ask you this like every week, but would you like to ride to church with me? Oh, come on, Mrs. Edwards, you like my church. We have some hot music. It may not be what you're bumping at all, but it's hot. We gets down. What do you say, Mrs. Edwards?
Oh, I suppose.
I've heard it said that 80% of first-time church visitors come because someone personally invited them. All people need to feel loved and wanted, and for some people, it just takes having someone offer to give them a ride to church. We have something great going on at this church. People's lives are being transformed by God's love. Your homework this week is to find at least one person who could use a little more of that love and invite them to come with you next week. Trust me, it's worth the extra effort.
Mrs. Edwards, you want to listen to some music on the way? Go ahead, your choice. Okay, here we are.
So we're going to start this Pathway Productions with the movie Freedom Riders. And if you haven't seen Freedom Riders, it takes place in a low-income neighborhood in California, and specifically a high school. And even more specifically in an English literature high school classroom with a new teacher, a rookie teacher, whose name is Mrs. Grewal. So let's look at the first clip.
I don't have page 4. That's run out. Okay, why don't you just use the next blank page? What's going on? What is that? Give it to me. What is this?
Just leave it alone.
You think this is funny? Tito, would this be funny if it were a picture of you?
It ain't.
Close the workbooks. Maybe we should talk about art. Tito's got real talent, don't you think? You know something? I saw a picture just like this once in a museum. Only it wasn't a black man. It was a Jewish man. And instead of the big lips, he had a really big nose, like a rat's nose. But he wasn't just one particular Jewish man. This was a drawing of all Jews. And these drawings were put in the newspapers by the most famous gang in history.
That's us, dog.
You think you know all about gangs? You're amateurs. This gang would put you all to shame. And they started out poor and angry, and everybody looked down on them until one man decided to give them some pride, an identity, and somebody to blame. You take over neighborhoods? That's nothing compared to them. They took over countries. And you want to know how? They just wiped out everybody else. Yeah, they wiped out everybody they didn't like and everybody they blamed for their life being hard. And one of the ways they did it was by doing this. See, they'd print pictures like this in the newspapers. Jewish people with big, long noses. Blacks with big, fat lips. They'd also publish scientific evidence that proved Jews and blacks were the lowest form of human species. Jews and blacks were more like animals. And because they were just like animals, it didn't really matter whether they lived or died. In fact, life would be a whole lot better if they were all dead. That's how a Holocaust happens.
You don't know the pain we feel. You don't know what we gotta do. You got no respect for how we living.
You don't feel respected. Is that what you're saying, Ava? Well, maybe you're not. But to get respect, you have to give it.
I don't know you. How do I know you're not a liar standing up there? How do I know you're not a bad person standing up there? I'm not just gonna give you my respect because you're called a teacher.
White people always wanting their respect like they deserve it for free.
I'm a teacher. It doesn't matter what color I am.
It's all about color. It's about people deciding what you deserve, about people wanting what they don't deserve, about whites thinking they run this world no matter what. You see, I hate white people.
You hate me?
Yeah.
You don't know me.
Can I please get out of here? Lady, stop acting like you're trying to understand our situation. And just do your little baby sitting up there.
That's all you think this is?
It ain't nothing else. When I look out in the world, I don't see nobody that looks like me with their pockets full unless they rapping a lyric or dribbling the ball. So what else you got in here for me?
Pretty powerful scene, huh? But it allows us to see that each one of those students and even the teacher herself were coming into this conversation with this limited vision. So when we have more information about our history, it helps us to tell the story. So we're going to watch another clip, and this clip is about Miep Gies, still from the Freedom Riders. Miep Gies, if you've heard that name before, she was one of the people that hid Anne Frank. She was an Austrian, so she had a German dialect and a German vocabulary, and she hid Anne Frank up above, I believe it was their business, in a room. So let's listen to Miep Gies describe.
The bounty on a Jew was about $2. Someone desperate for money told the Gestapo. On August 4th, they stormed into my office, and a man pointed a gun at me and said, "Not a sound, not one word. and then they went straight upstairs to the attic. I felt so helpless. I could hear Anne screaming, objects being thrown around, so I ran back to my house. I looked for an earring or knickknacks, anything I could take back with me to bribe them. So I took this back with me, all these things, and the soldier there took out his gun and put it against my head. You could be shot for hiding a Jew or go to camp. So another soldier recognized my accent. He was Austrian, and so was I. But I had been adopted by a Dutch family. So he told the soldier with the gun to let me go. There isn't a day that I don't remember August 4th. And I think about Anne Frank. Yes?
I've never had a hero before, but you are my hero.
Oh, no. No, young man, no. I am not a hero. No, I did what I had to do because it was the right thing to do. That is all. We are all ordinary people. But even an ordinary secretary or a housewife or a teenager can, within their own small ways, turn on a small light in a dark room. Yeah? I have read your letters, and your teacher has been telling me many things about your experiences. You are the heroes. You are heroes every day. Your faces are engraved in my heart.
Touches me every time I see that scene, especially when she says, "Your faces are engraved in my heart," because that is out of the Bible, where God says that our names are engraved in his heart. Our past helps us to strengthen our faith on the road ahead of us. And how do we do that? Through Jesus and through community. Through community. So watch this final clip and notice that it is in community where this group of students who have been sharing their stories with each other learn what the bigger picture of life is for them. Let's watch this final clip.
Nobody ever listens to a teenager. No, everybody thinks you should be happy just because you're young. And they don't see the wars that we fight every single day. And one day my war will end. And I will not die. And I will not tolerate abuse from anyone. I am strong.
My mom's kicked me out when I got jumped into the gang life. But I like her to see me graduate. I like to be 18.
Miss G, can I read something from my diary?
That'd be great.
Who is he?
Man, he's been with us since freshman year, fool.
What's his name?
I don't know.
The summer was the worst summer in my short 14 years of life. It all started with a phone call. My mother was crying and begging, asking for more time, as if she were gasping for her last breath of air. She held me as tight as she could and cried. Her tears hit my shirt like bullets and told me we were being evicted. She kept apologizing to me. I thought I have no home. I should have asked for something less expensive at Christmas. On the morning of the eviction, a hard knock on the door woke me up. The sheriff was there to do his job. I looked up at the sky, waiting for something to happen. My mother has no family to lean on, no money coming in. Why bother coming to school or getting good grades if I'm homeless? The bus stops in front of the school. I feel like throwing up. I'm wearing clothes from last year, some old shoes and no new haircut. I kept thinking I'd get laughed at. Instead, I'm greeted by a couple of friends who were in my English class last year. And it hits me, Mrs. Gerwell, my crazy English teacher from last year, is the only person that made me think of hope. Talking with friends about last year's English and our trips, I began to feel better. I received my schedule, and the first teacher is Mrs. Gerwell in room 203. I walk into the room and feel as though all the problems in life are not so important anymore. I am home.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so as you saw there, it's in community, in the sharing of their stories that they found this commonality, a bond that strengthened them, that allowed them to drop all these filters and allowed them to see the bigger picture.
Let's go to the next question.
I often have patients who are over 70, not terminally ill, who say they keep seeing their spouse who has already died. Their spouse appeared via a very bright light. They could see their face, and they are calling them home. The patient told me, I want to join him, so don't hold me back. The patients are totally lucid. What does this pronouncement mean?
Okay. I'm just going to give a quick response to that. I'm watching the time, and we have a couple of the questions I want to deal with. How many doctors, nurses, medical people we have here? We got some doctors, hospice people. We got some. All right, so you can vouch for me what I'm about to say because you probably experienced this yourself, being someone died. More than once, I've been with someone who was dying in the 28 years of being here, and often the last word I've heard them speak is they reach out before they die is mom, dad, and they just, I don't know what that means. I've seen them reach out with their hands like they're reaching for someone. So I would just encourage you not to discount if you're with someone that you love that is dying and they're talking like this, to not think that there's something real that is going on there that's a mystery that we cannot explain. I've just been around too many of those occurrences. So I know it's painful to say, hey, I want to let you go, but sometimes that's where people are. Okay, so.
I don't really pray, but if you could just help me out here, I promise. 105. 105. Oh my God. Okay, run a bath. Call the doctor. Just run a bath, get her into the bath. Dr. Carter 655. Oh, he won't be there. Thermometer, what is a thermometer? Mercury. How does it even work? Maybe I can page him. Susan.
Mommy needs you to get up now.
I know. Okay, hang on. It just feels cold because you're so hot. Susan, stay with me. Susan!
She's been disoriented, confused.
She said that she saw a man in her bedroom. Are you cold?
Okay, swing it. Wide now.
Let's give her O2.
Yes, doctor. Right away.
How's her breathing?
God?
No. My name is Seth.
Where are we going?
Home.
Can Mommy come?
No.
She won't understand.
She will. Someday.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
What did you like best?